educational benefits of video games. Before the positive benefits can be explained, however, we must address the elephant that's in the room. What am I talking about? Some may ask. Let's face it, the violence depicted in the video a second ago was brutal, bloody, and outright disturbing to some individuals. The video depicts some of the graphic scenes that players are able to create inside the game Grand Theft Auto, which has been one of the most controversial games to ever hit the market. While this game does depict acts of violence, uses foul language, and incorporates lewd sexual activities throughout the game, it is not without its positive merits for those willing to see past its less than appropriate exterior. My goal is to provide you both adult players and parents of younger players with insight into what good all types of games can bring to the table, including the violent ones. In America today, nearly 97% of teens play video games. This number is not likely to decline moving toward the future. However, the percentage of adult gamers between the ages of 18 and 45 is expected to continue to rise. Of the 97% of teens who currently play games, 66% report they play games with violence in them at some point in time. Now, past trends have indicated that violence and suggestive themes in video games can promote violent and otherwise bad behavior due to these types of games and what's seen in them. The research is not without some truth, as children are often influenced by the people and things around them, absorbing everything along the way. This is why I believe that ultimately this is the reason for the ESRB rating system to help parents determine what is and is not acceptable for their children to play. The ratings are E for everyone, E 10 plus for children 10 years of age and older, T for teen or 13 plus years and older, M for mature ages 17 and up, and A for adults only 18 plus years and up. Rating pending has not yet been evaluated by the ESRB. This rating system can ensure young, impressionable minds are steered clear of any games that may negatively impact them. Parents have a responsibility to closely monitor the ESRB ratings and ensure their children play only content that is appropriate for their age level. To further substantiate the claim that games, both violent and non-violent, are beneficial and educational, you can see a direct reflection in the amount of games sold since 1996 in America and how these teen crime rates substantially dropped over the years as the game sales increased. You can see in 1996 there were approximately 34 million serious crimes committed by teens when 70 million game units were sold. 13 years later there were only 11 million serious crimes committed and 270 million game units were sold. While this trend doesn't directly indicate playing games is beneficial, it does indicate the link between violent crime and video games is minimal, if existent at all. The same can be seen for Japan. Using roughly the same time frame and changes, the changes from the scale from units sold to billions earned. In 1995, Japan saw 1.8 million crimes, when 3 billion was the yearly revenue for video games. In 2010, 15 years later, Japan saw only 1.25 million crimes, and the game revenue was 18 billion for that year. Once again, this trend doesn't imply games cause this reduction in crime, but does help disprove the theory video games cause violent crime. The American Psychological Association conducted research in late 2013 that also supports the educational benefits of video games. The start of the article states that playing video games, including violent shooter games, may boost children's learning and health and social skills according to a review of research on positive effects of playing video games. They acknowledge that negative effects of gaming shouldn't be ignored, such as addiction, depression, and aggression, but that there are many positives that games can offer as well when properly managed. Among these benefits are a range of cognitive skills that can be enhanced, such as spatial, navigation, reasoning, memory, and perception, according to the several studies reviewed by the APA in this article. Ironically enough, this is true more so for violent games, such as shooting games. It showed in a 2013 meta-analysis that playing these types of games improved capacity to think about objects in three dimensions, as well as academic courses focused toward the same goals. Problem-solving skills can also be heightened through games according to their research. Teens that reported playing strategy and role-playing games showed improved problem-solving skills along with higher average grades in the following school years. Simpler games, such as many cell phone apps, have shown to improve player moods, promote relaxation, and ward off anxiety, according to the study. In addition to the educational benefits, these type of games can offer support for emotional well-being, which the APA recognizes as a fundamental benefit. The study also recognizes that those who play video games, violent or not, that encourage cooperation, have an increased probability of helping others while playing as opposed to those that play competitively. Educators and physicians alike are currently attempting to redesign approaches to learning, both in the realm of institutional learning and physical and mental health learning. A study in 34 medical centers discovered patients who played a game called Remission were much more compliant and knowledgeable with their treatments than patients that did not participate. It was even said that there is potential to transform the realm of mental health entirely using these games. The APA even goes as far as recommending professionals from various fields work together to obtain all the benefits gamers could bring to realization. Another reputable source, the Wall Street Journal, also takes a look at all the benefits of games in educating kids in this short video.
Solve a math problem and you get a rock to catapult at the treehouse you're supposed to destroy. It's an example of the kind of games many young people today are playing in school. Are games part of the answer to improving education? A growing number of education experts, school districts, and education companies think so. They're applying what young people love about games and gaming, action, competition, and rewards, to learning core subjects.
Save the world at the library and fall in love with books along the way.
What are gaming's potential advantages? Video games allow for mastery-based learning, meaning users don't move on to the next level until they've conquered the lesson. Students get immediate performance feedback, a score. Gaming also offers educators a wealth of data on pupil performance, and of course, games are supposed to make learning a lot more fun. Who's making games? Various edtech companies and nonprofits are cranking out software for both private and public school systems. The Mind Research Institute, for example, is creating games that teach arithmetic by visually representing math problems.
Students have fun replaying stories over and over while becoming more ambitious in the varieties of sentences they create.
Amplify, a learning company owned by News Corp, the Wall Street Journal's parent company, is working with independent game designers to develop 30 game titles. School districts will be able to purchase them next year. They're intended for use by students during their free time.
Heavy polluters.
Pearson, one of the world's largest educational textbook companies, is partnering with the creators of the classic SimCity, designing for grades 6 to 8 a role-playing game that involves systems thinking. But in some schools, gamification of education isn't about software, it's about making the entire class experience a game like Quest.
It's a very heroic battle. Dario, do you know this battle?
Here at the Quest School to Learn in Manhattan, a course in world history and geography is built around challenges.
We're learning by playing games, and then we're also making learning game-like.
Go!
So today in my classroom, they were playing a game called Sculptionary. The game-like part could be your challenge is to design a really, really good museum, or maybe this is a museum that was poorly designed. How do you recreate it?
Does gaming in education work? Here's the thing, a report by Pearson admits relatively few games have been tested against other teaching and learning approaches, and games are part of a wider technological revamping of the classroom experience, all of it pointing towards making learning more exciting.
Because I think you're more open up to new things when you're happy.
Well said. That's the short answer.
As you've just heard, the extent of the benefits of games in education is still being researched and evaluated, but the existence of benefits from involving games in our children's education is undeniable. For those concerned about the content of some games their children may play, I would urge you to seek out the ESRB ratings for these games and to manage their gameplay time. As with all good things, they are only good in moderation. Take this knowledge and help yourselves or your children Learn to maximize the benefit games can offer you in your life and education.